I spoke last time about the silence after these meditations that are so profound and really touches on, what's infinite in the universe. It allows that energy to enter us. It allows that energy to open and develop the chakra system. We're not interfering with it because the mind is active and there's tension. It's that profound silence that truly allows us to connect with spirit. And I mean, in life, that silence is very rare. I mean, just about everybody walks around in a, a barrel full of noise. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Hmm. Okay, if there are no questions, I mean, I can understand there are no questions. This class was really powerful class. Maybe a lot of the questions were answered in this class for people, and that's good. The whole secret is really to sustain this. I don't mean sit and meditate 24 hours a day, but try to bring away from the meditation that silence, that depth, that richness of energy that comes, and allow it to truly work inside us, even if we're not sitting in class, by learning how to conserve it and learning how to respect it, because it's truly an incredible gift that's given to all of us from a higher source of energy. Don't let other people disturb it, because that's usually what happens. And if you have that centeredness inside and that balance inside, and you take it away with you from the class, people can't disturb it. You will be grounded enough inside that no matter what people say or do or how irritating it might be, it won't disturb your sense of quiet and balance inside yourself. And that's a pretty good place to be. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
I have a very short question, Stuart.
Okay.
Just personal question, maybe. Not always, but a lot of times during a meditation, I still have a lot of thoughts in my head. Is this normal, or because I quite do it a long
Well,
time?
as I told somebody else yesterday, you and I, and none of us are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be a bit of chatter in your head. But if you have managed to ground yourself and center yourself inside, that chatter will just go away. You won't attach yourself to it. And it's also not negative because it just reminds you that you still have more to do. And that's not a negative thing. As my teacher always said, he always talked about, a pearl requires an irritation to become a pearl in an oyster. We're all pearls inside. We're gems inside ourselves. And somehow we need those irritations to remind us that we gotta go a little deeper. We have to open more. We have to continue to do the work. So those irritations will always be present. They get less and less as you get stronger and stronger, but there's always going to be a bit of it there. And I think the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, it provides us with that as a constant reminder. We haven't arrived yet. And all creative energy is in growth, in evolution, in development, not in arriving, but in the process of evolving inside ourselves. We continue to tap more and more creative energy. So I wouldn't get too concerned about it. Just let it be a reminder. I haven't arrived. I'm not perfect. Okay. I need to still work on myself.
Just a question of persistence as well, then keep doing it.
Well, the question of all people have it, Paul. You know, everybody, nobody wants to be irritated. Nobody wants to be bothered. Yet everybody is, and very few people do anything in a real way about it. In this meditation, there's a very real way of doing something about it. So,
You you used to talk by excuse me, when you did the initiation of the meditation, you talked about asking yourself or asking yourself to be helped or so. No, before you start, can you tell me about it again? You ask yourself the question, "Help me," or
well,
something.
please help me to surrender all negative, or please help me to grow spiritually. To surrender and to grow spiritually. I mean, look, there's a certain humility in being able to ask. It takes gratitude for one's life to be able to ask. It's a very incredible state of inner development to understand that one has to ask. I mean, even in the Bible, you know, and I'm not a theologian, ask and you will receive. And I think this is very true. So we need that humility. It's again, we need that consciousness that we haven't arrived yet, that there's a higher force in the universe, much bigger than all of us. And we need to ask for help, to open, to surrender, to grow spiritually. That asking is not weakness, it's a sign of great strength. That one can truly bow down to the universe and say, I need to ask for that energy. I need to grow. What do I have to do to continue the growth inside myself? You know, and I think this is a very important aspect of not only our work, but just learning to be human in the world. You know, not having to walk around thinking we're perfect in everything we do and we shouldn't make mistakes, but to have the capacity to ask. You know, when it comes to computers, I'm like an idiot child. You know, I really don't have a lot of knowledge. And anytime I get something, I mean, the first person I go to is I ask my daughter. And in 12 seconds, she fixes it, you know? So, you know, we have to learn that. And when you sit and do work inside you and you're trying to open to have a spiritual life, it is literally essential that we have the humility and we have that deep sense of gratitude in ourselves that says, I can ask. There is no shame in asking for help to grow. And it always comes when one asks with deep humility and a deep need to have a spiritual life. The place it never comes is somebody who knows everything, somebody who's right all the time, who, you know, doesn't need, you know, knows better than everybody else. So asking is a very important aspect of not only this meditation, but just learning to live here like a human being. It really allows us to have humility. We haven't arrived yet. We need help to grow. We haven't learned everything about whatever you study, literature or writing or art or music, or whatever it is people study, physics, and being able to ask the teacher for answers to the questions we have. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Paul. I mean, Paul, you're growing very well, and it's a joy to see you in my classes. I mean that.
Okay.
There's a lightness in you that wasn't in you 2 years ago. I really enjoy it. It's wonderful. So keep working. It's helping you develop inside yourself. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then we will have meditation on Sunday. And once again, in all humility, I'm asking you to attend classes because it really works. It's helping me to grow. It's helping you all to grow. And this hour we spend together is like a miracle in a week. And I think it's extraordinary that the universe is providing this. And I hope with all my heart that everybody takes advantage of it. So God bless you all and thank you. And I'm looking forward to the class on Sunday.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Have a good evening, afternoon.